Bienvenidos from the Rio Grande Valley. Welcome to Pueblo News. I'm Ana Sanchez. We're excited to be here tonight for our weekly show. Pueblo News is a project of La Unión del Pueblo Entero. This show is to share with our members the latest news about the Rio Grande Valley. To join Lupe, visit our website lupenet.org or send us a message on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Now, moving on to our headlines. The valley is known for its rich traditions and beautiful communities from the place where two cultures merge. Visitors and tourists come every year and contribute up to $19 billion on goods and services, fueling our economy and allowing businesses to thrive. Last year, the border was closed due to health concerns regarding COVID-19 and consequently left many owners without a vital part of their businesses. Fortunately, last week the border opened and many celebrated the economic benefits that are to come in the holidays. Although this is good news for merchants, Title 42 will remain in effect. This policy essentially makes seeking asylum impossible and places asylum seekers in danger. Last week, Governor Abbott reiterated that razor wire and other obstacles would be put in place to keep people from seeking refuge in the U.S. No family should have to choose between the quality of their child's education and the health of their family. Our governor ordered us to surrender our rights when he signed legislation banning mask mandates and forced families to send their children to school regardless of health risks. Last week, a federal judge overruled Greg Abbott's ban on mask mandates, allowing schools to now enforce personal protective equipment. The judge explained that Abbott's ban on masks violates the Americans with Disabilities Act. This victory was spearheaded by Disability Rights Texas, who filed the lawsuit on behalf of many Texas families. In other news, Texas GOP-led Congress will now face major pushbacks from the U.S. Justice Department. Last Thursday, the Justice Department announced a new lawsuit against Texas and its Secretary of State for new voting regulations passed earlier this year as a response to Republicans' defeat in the 2020 federal elections. The infamous State Bill 1, which introduced stricter ID requirements and restrictions on polling places and voting by mail. This is the first major challenge by the federal government and could stop Texas from enforcing these new rules that only serve to disenfranchise communities of color. It is no secret that Republicans are trying to influence future elections in their favor. Voting is important now more than ever. Our communities need to elevate their voice as we are in the risk of facing more silencing. Now our main segment. We are here today with community organizer Joaquin Garcia. Good evening, Joaquin. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Excellent. So we have Joaquin joining us today to talk about his recent actions in his community. Can you tell us a little bit about your work here at Lupe?
Yes, so I'm currently a community organizer with Lupe in Starr County, which is the county where the cities of Roma and Rio Grande are in. And I pretty much, as community organizer, work very closely with communities, mostly the ones that are in the rural area of the county, given that those are the ones that tend to have more difficulties. For example, dealing with flooding, no street lighting. The trash doesn't get picked up as often as we would want. So that's why we tend to focus on those. But we also promote our membership, given that our membership is what gives us power and makes us be able to help all these different communities in all of the Rio Grande Valley. So that's just a little bit of what I do from a large things, that we do.
Can you tell us about your recent action in the Colonia?
Yes, so this past week, we finally, after working for more than about 2 months, 2.5 months in a community called Las Lomas in Rio Grande City, this was a community that had been seeking postal service to their homes for many, many years, more than 20 years to be exact. Back in I believe it was in September, one of the community members called me and she told me, Joaquin, you know what, we've been fighting for many years to get individual mail service to our homes and nothing has been done. So we want to see if you would be able to help us out. So after meetings every week with community members, we decided to create a petition and collect community signatures from as many residents as possible. This is a community with more than probably more than 600 homes. So, and more than probably more than 2,000 people live there in that community. It's a very large community. So after collecting signatures, we were able to turn in more than 500 signatures and a petition to a representative of the Congress, to a congressman from that district.
Well, that sounds awesome. Can you tell us about the obstacles that you faced?
Yeah, so I believe that the biggest obstacle that we had as a community was that many of the residents found it difficult to believe that we were going to be able to do something. And even though we haven't gotten any results yet, we wanted the community to be able to participate even by giving just their signature or helping out collecting signatures in the community. But as I mentioned, since it's something that they've been fighting for many years, some of them don't really see, or they don't want to, let's say, spend time in something that they think might not happen. So it was kind of difficult talking to them and making them aware that even though it's been a long time that this has been going on, that we needed to start somewhere, and that there's hope as long as the community is able to organize and work together. That's what we want to do. And our role as organizers is try to make sure that they believe in the power of their voices, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to bring change to their communities in the future when maybe there's no organizer there, so that they can organize themselves and be able to solve their struggles. So that's what we want to do. Yes.
Yeah, and I definitely appreciate you sharing a little bit about that. I know it can definitely be a process, but I'm glad that you're taking that step and then you're there to help them organize.
Yes.
What message do you have for other colonias who want to take action?
What other message? I think the most important message that I want to let people know is that individually you have a lot of power. You know, and I don't mean that you need to know how to speak in public or be very well known in the community. All you need is to have the willingness to participate and to organize your communities. Maybe that your community is struggling with flooding, or maybe you don't have street lights in your street and accidents occur. So you have the power to change that, but you need to believe it. And me as an organizer, I'm there to help you organize, help you maybe teach you how to maybe talk in public if it's not something that you may be doing right now. But look out for Lupe, you know, just know that we're here in Starr County. We're here to help you. We want to let residents know that we're here to help you have a better lifestyle and to help you out as much as we want, as you need. So yeah, just give us a call and we'll be ready to assist you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I hope that, you know, this journey that y'all are having there in Starr County
Yes.
Goes well, and that, you know, hopefully people feel a little bit more empowered. And thank you so much for being with us today.
No, thank you for inviting me.
If you want to get involved to make positive change for the Rio Grande Valley, here are 3 events happening this week. On Wednesday, November 17 at 5 p.m., Texas Rising at UTRGV is hosting a self-managed abortion info share. The session will be led by a trained activist on what everyone should know about sharing information about self-managed abortions. The event will be online and in person at the Edinburgh campus. To RSVP, go to tinyurl.com/SMARGV or look up Texas Rising RGV on Instagram. As the holidays are approaching, we need to make sure all our family members are vaccinated to protect each other from COVID-19. Lupe is hosting a series of phone banking sessions to reach out to families across our region and help them make informed decisions about getting vaccinated. To volunteer with this campaign, visit lupenet.org/MTS. This Thursday, November 18 at 6 p.m., Lupe is hosting our monthly online member meeting via Zoom. This month, we will be joined by Kathy Torres of Frontera Fund to talk about the state of abortion access in the Rio Grande Valley. To RSVP, visit lupenet.org/together. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. To join Lupe, visit lupenet.org or send us a message on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. From the Rio Grande Valley, this is Pueblo News. See you next week.